Hello and welcome, fellow astronauts. Today we're going to be going over putting a ship in orbit. I'm going to build a simple ship, and we are going to put it in orbit as simple as I can make it. Right now we're going into the vehicle assembly building, and we are going to be building a simple orbiter. It's going to be two stages. It's going to be the orbital insertion stage, and then the leaving the atmosphere stage. So first we're going to build the orbital stage. We'll even put a Kerbal in here so we can bring him back to Earth, and you can see how all of that works, because why not? Anyways, so Kerbal's going to go in there, parachute to stop him from perishing, no pun intended. You're gonna put some solar panels. You know what? Under this we could put a battery. That way we'll have enough power to control the ship. This is just right. Alright, so that is just your basic return pod. Ready to go. It's got the heat shield. Ready for the atmosphere. A little bit of electronics to keep us going. Parachute to stop us. I'm going to build the next stage, and as soon as I am done, we will go over what it is for. So this is the orbital insertion stage. This is the stage that is going to push us the rest of the way into orbit. It doesn't really need to be a lot. Once you're in space, there's not very much resistance to move you faster. So I've got a vacuum engine on. You can see the different vacuum and non-vacuum thrusts. This one is good for both. The one that I picked is really good for vacuum, 60 kilonewtons. Don't really know all the math, but I know that it's, obviously the number in vacuum is bigger. Alright, now we're going to go into our launch stage. Alrighty, so second stage is composed of this one liquid fuel tube, and it's got a liquid fuel engine, meaning you can adjust the throttle, and then we have solid fuel boosters on the side. Once you light those, there's no stopping them. So they are also connected to the side with decouplers. As soon as they run out, I can press the staging button and they will detach from the rocket. And I have just a small amount of aerodynamics on the very, very bottom. We have a pilot in here, so the pilot should be able to fly. I don't have a pilot. Well, that's a problem. Give me 1 second, I will be right back. We got ourselves a pilot. The power of editing. That was super fast. Alrighty, over here on the right hand side is staging. Parachute is going to be the last thing to go. Detach from the command pod will detach from the orbiting stage on its way down. I have one little piece of stability control right here. Here we go. Voila! Now there are two types of orbiting controls. There's the rocket controls, is what I like to call them, and the plane controls. On the Xbox controller, you want to hold left bumper and Y, and it will switch between plane controls and rocket controls. Disabled is rocket controls, and enabled means plane controls. And that's probably the simplest way that I could put it. If you understand it, then kudos to you. Anyways, I'm going to press B to activate the stability control assist, meaning that the rocket will not just go in any random direction. It will stay straight until I tell it to move. If I just turn it off, then it's pretty much at the mercy of the rockets themselves. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to lean the rocket really hard right off the bat because the boosters are so powerful. It'll be perfectly fine, and we need to get that angle as soon as possible. And keep pulling hard right. Boosters are really strong. You could potentially do it without the boosters. I just put them on just for, you know, fun. I know for absolute sure. That's all I take. It's just a little bit of extra fun. Boosters are done. Press the A. Now we're going pretty quick. I'm going to switch to the map view with left bumper and right bumper at the same time. This number needs to be at 75,000. Or not 75, sorry. It needs to be at 70,000 or higher. Pardon my mistake. If you press X while you're hovering over it, it will lock it in place and you can move your cursor around. Clicking down on the left stick makes it to where you move your ship and not the cursor. We are almost at our desired height. We'll go up a little bit higher because why not? 75,000 because I like 75,000. Now we're going to turn our ship into the prograde marker, which is the direction you are moving. Prograde marker is essentially this piece right here. This is what your prograde is, where your ship is looking. Prograde means this exact line. Now that we are making our way up into space, we're going to have to do a burn right here. We're going to make a maneuver. I usually don't use maneuvers because I've done it so many times, but for the sake of this tutorial, we're going to do it. Now you see, now I have a periapsis, which is the lowest point of my orbit. I need to get that up to 70. Now it's up to 70. You see that over here. Then you look on this side. This is at 93. It's kind of high, but we can fix it. Burn time. It says 1 minute and 59 seconds, and we need to burn now. So we're going to switch back to this. I'm going to move the rocket right now, and we're going to start burning. You want to cut the time in half, so if your burn is 30 seconds, 15 seconds before you start burning is when, or before the, you know, node is essentially supposed to be there is when you want to start burning. I probably said that very complicated. I can't even talk. My lower stage is out of fuel. I am now going to detach the top stage, start the engine, and we're going to finish off the last little bit. I know I'm not on the target anymore, but I know I just need to go prograde. And the camera should switch any second. We are not there yet. You see how I pushed this node out really far? If I wanted to fix that, I can just easily go down and push myself back towards Earth, even though I'm still going prograde direction, so I will still be moving forward, and it's just going to be pushing me down, and this out. It is now at 75, pretty much exactly where I wanted it to be. It gets easier as you get the probodobodines that have all of the controls on them for you. Then you don't have to aim anything yourself. It'll just do it for you. Still have to kind of know when to do it, but it at least holds the ship. Now we can look at our little Kerbal, and he is in space. Now we're going to do a quick come back to Earth sequence. We're going to warp over here to the highest point of our orbit, which is called the apoapsis. Over there on the other side is the lowest point, called our periapsis. So now I'm going to burn retrograde. This is only going to move a little bit. This will move a lot on the other side. You see how these are moving and this one isn't? It's because I'm on this side, and that's how you change your orbit. If you want to go farther out on this side, you need to burn on the opposite side, and that is generically the way to do it. But I'm going to go under the atmospheric level, which is 70,000. I'm actually going to go down all the way to like 30,000. 31, that's fine. Alright, so now this is going to be slightly difficult because I don't have an experienced pilot who knows how to point retrograde. I'm going to go ahead and detach the burner part, and I'm going to point my ship retrograde, because the retrograde means I'm pointing away from the direction that I'm moving, thus pointing the heat shield into the wind as I'm flying that direction. I'm going to speed up time a little bit. The camera switching like that means that we just lost orbit. As you can see down here, the air is slowing me down. This is my meters per second in orbit. I can look at the surface, and this means how fast I'm moving in comparison to the ground. Alright, well I'll see you when we slow down all the way. We are now making our way towards the ground. We are going slow enough for the parachute to not tear open as we are descending. Gonna go ahead and deploy that. Sometimes if you land on ground that has mountains, it might not open up in time, so you know, you really should kind of pay attention. I think the default is 1,000 meters altitude, but the mountains can definitely be higher than that. And we're about to find out. Should be opening here any second. Oh, yeah, sure enough. Oh, is it going to slow us down? It did. Nice. And then we safely float down to the ground with our Kerbal intact and wherever the other piece of spaceship went. But it has been a successful mission, and I'm glad that I, as the Mad Greaser, was your host. Thanks for watching. Thank you all for watching. This is one of my first videos that I've put out. I have so many games, and I love playing all of them. I would love to make videos of every game that I have, but if there's any suggestions or if there's any particular games y'all would like to see played on the Xbox, then shoot me a comment or shoot me a message, and I'll be sure to try and get back to you, or at least make some content in the direction that you guys want to see. So, thanks again for watching. Peace out.